And what was the moment? So I've had similar experiences where I'm like holding on to a thing that I've been doing for years, and then it's like kind of obvious that it's time to move on, but I'm like, yeah, but that's what I do. Could you talk about, the finally deciding like, all right, we're gonna make this move to a different place? Uh, how you knew it was time, and when you actually made that decision?
I'll answer that. Yeah, Derek, first of all, like very observant or perceptive question, because that was the toughest thing we had to face. We've honestly, we had this moment where we both looked at each other and we recognized we've put all this time, energy, money, hopes, dreams, passion, love into this thing that we felt was like for us. And then we had to decide, does it still feel like it's for us? And then there was a no. And then it was like, okay, can we make it for us? And then, like Michael said, being Capricorns, we're like, we can, we can do it. We've got the determination and endurance. And we were like, do you want to do that? And it was like, no, no. And we literally we felt by saying, no, we're not going to go out and force this and make this happen. We could, and it would probably take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years to really get it to the point that we want it to. And then, but we felt that by that time, it would be even more over than it is now. And we thought, do we want to go waste 2 or 3 or 4, 5 years? And I say waste. Do we want to go put energy into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years for something that's already feeling like it's not for us anymore? And we said no. And we said, okay, then what? And then again, being who we are, we're like, okay, well, then what's next? Because we're really good at taking action on what's next. And it was like the energy felt like intuitively, nothing's next. And we're like,
Ugh.
well, and what are we doing? And it was like, and then we got faced with this opportunity. Can you just sit in the discomfort of everything collapsing and going to ashes? Can you just sit in the unknown and wait for something to bloom again and not try to take off and steer it or make something happen? And we both consciously felt that opportunity arising, and we both consciously chose, let's just sit in the unknown and see how this goes and see what arises. And so, what would you say, love? About 5 or 6 months we sat in the unknown.
Uh, yeah, felt like a lifetime, but yeah, about 5 or 6 months.
And it was uncomfortable, Derek. And that's what I was saying. Like, I've had a very interior last 12 months of just allowing myself to process through all the personal things, all coming up, all the patterns, all the distortions, all the limiting beliefs, all the everything, and just letting it be uncomfortable and continuing to pray through it, and then having the fun times in between. But then we finally in October and November, we kind of looked around and was like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to move on. We can say goodbye to Aikidos. We can say goodbye to everything we've put into this place, all the things we've learned, all the love we've shared, all the opportunity, all the experiences, we can close this chapter consciously. It's time to move on. And so it was really big, really uncomfortable. But what has shifted in us that we realize now that we're here and gone through it, that we can feel happening now as we're making choices moving forward, we're not as scared of the unknown. It's like, what do we do right now? I don't know. Let's let it sit for a few days and see what arises, versus, oh my gosh, we're uncomfortable. Let's try to make something happen. So we've been a lot more attentive, allowing, I guess I want to say, sort of waiting for the path to unfold or show itself versus trying to carve a path. And so something has dug into us on that level now, that our navigating has shifted over to this much more open and receptive versus taking action and steering it and carving it. That's how I would describe it. That's a great question. It is tough because there's identity with it. And, oh, this is who I think I am. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's also not who I am. I'm something beyond all of this. And it's going to change again. And it'll change again. and it's always changing. And how could it not? Because the God in the universe is so infinitely creative. So yeah, interesting lessons, tough lessons.
Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to, that's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month. And I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.